want you to imagine this. In the morning, you wake up, stretch. I want you to, and there's no stiff back, no dull ache like usual. You step out of bed, your body feels light, your footing is steady, your hips move freely. That feeling, freedom in every movement, is what most of my patients long for. I've worked with hundreds of people over 50. Many of them come to me with the same complaint: "Doctor, my back locks up every morning. Even walking feels heavy." I always smile and say, "I know. But trust me, this can change." The exercise I'm sharing today is one of the simplest, yet most powerful I know: the glute bridge. It's gentle, safe, requires no equipment, and it can restore your body from the inside out. Lie on your back, knees bent, feet flat on the floor. Slowly lift your hips until your body forms a soft bridge from shoulders to knees. Pause there, breathe deeply, and gently squeeze your glutes. It seems small, but in that moment, you're waking up muscles that may have been asleep for years. I often call the glutes and lower back the invisible pillars of midlife. When we're young, we don't notice them, they work quietly. But as we sit more and move less, and the aches and stiffness begin, those pillars weaken. The muscles around the hips, the gluteus maximus, hamstrings, and lower back are your body's central support. When they're weak, your back takes over. Your spine gets pulled out of good alignment. Every step feels heavy. And then, you start to believe that's just age. But age isn't the culprit. Silent muscles are. I remember a patient named Robert, 68, a gentle former teacher. He used to say, "Every morning feels like there's an iron rod in my back." I had him do glute bridges each evening, just 10 reps, 5 minutes, right by the bed. After a week, he called, "Nothing's changing." I smiled. "Keep going, Robert. Sometimes the body needs time to remember how strong it really is." 3 weeks later, he walked into my office, taller, brighter, and said, "Doctor, this morning I tied my shoes without back pain for the first time in 10 years. That's the power of patience and right movement. When you do glute bridges, you activate the posterior chain, the muscles along the back of your body that help you stand tall, protect your lower back, and walk steadily. Just 10 minutes a day sends a message to your body. I'm here, I'm strong, I'm in control. Recent studies show adults over 60 who do hip bridging 3 times a week for just 4 weeks can reduce chronic low back pain by up to 40%. It also improves balance and the ability to rise from a chair, 2 keys to staying independent. I believe real strength isn't about big muscles, it's about refusing to give up your agency. The glute bridge isn't just a movement, it's a life lesson. Every time you lift your hips, you're pushing back against gravity, against decline, against the idea that I'm too old. Many think 60 or 70 is time to stop. I don't. I think it's time to rebuild your foundation with simple things like a deep breath and a gentle hip lift. Tonight before bed, try it. Just 5 reps, not perfect, just present. Feel your hips rise, your body steady, your breath slow. Tomorrow, do it again. In a week, you'll notice it lighter, steadier, more confident. Don't think I'm exercising. Think I'm having a conversation with my body. It's a conversation we often forget when life is too busy. I've met hundreds who lost faith in their bodies, and the very same people found it again through tiny movements like this. So if you're watching, remember, it's never too late to begin again. Whether you're 50, 60, or 80, every time you lift your hips, you lift your spirit, your belief, and your dignity. Your body can come back if you give it the chance. Start today, one small bridge enough to carry you back to strength, freedom, and joy. Let me share a short story. Linda, 74, came in with sad eyes. "Doctor, I can't get up from a chair without help." I told her, "Linda, you don't need a gym. You just need this chair." Sometimes the chair in your home is the best gym in the world, not because it lets you rest, but because it helps you learn how to stand up again. Today's exercise is simple and familiar. Chair squat, sit down and stand up. No equipment, no special space, just the chair you use every day. Sit down slowly and inhale. As you stand, imagine you're rising out of weakness, out of the limits age tries to place on you. Keep your back straight, feet shoulder width, eyes forward. Lower until you lightly touch the chair, then drive up through your heels, not your knees. Each rep trains the muscles that protect your independence. Thighs, glutes, hips, and your core. When we're young, we don't think about sitting and standing. After 50, those motions become a test of time. Thighs weaken, knees creak, balance slips. One morning you realize you're grabbing a table or wall to get up. I tell my patients, lose leg muscle, lose independence. The miracle is you can reclaim it by practicing the act of standing up. A Harvard study found that 10 minutes a day of sit to stand can reduce fall risk by up to 30% in adults over 65. No pills, no gadgets, just a chair and consistency. After 4 weeks, Linda returned walking taller and smiling differently. "Did you practice daily?" I asked. She nodded. 10 minutes every morning. 10 sits, 10 stands. "I don't need my son's help anymore." I said, "See, that's not just muscle strength, that's the strength of believing you can." Every time you rise from a chair, you're saying, "I still control my body." It's not just exercise, it's an act of freedom. In your 60s and 70s, it's not about going faster or lifting heavier. It's about staying in charge, teaching your legs to listen, your body to respond, and your mind to know you're still strong. To start, choose a sturdy chair place, it near a wall for safety. Take a deep breath before you sit and stand by pressing through your heels, not your knees. Begin with 5 reps, then build to 10 or 15. No rush, steady and mindful. Do it while watching TV or between chapters of a book. Make it as natural as sipping warm water each morning. Age can't take your strength unless you let it. A chair isn't just for resting, it's where you relearn the art of standing up. I've seen people in their 80s rise smoothly because they never stopped practicing. You can too. Each time you stand, remember you're lifting more than your body, you're lifting your spirit. In life, what matters isn't how many times we fall, it's that we keep choosing to stand. Now imagine this, you're standing with your back against the wall. No squatting, no bouncing, just holding still. At first it looks like nothing's happening. But if you stay long enough, your legs begin to tremble, your thighs warm, your breath deepens, and in that quiet moment you're building strength in the stillest way. I tell many patients, movement doesn't always create strength. Sometimes conscious stillness is what makes you resilient. The exercise is the wall isometric squat, what I jokingly call sitting on air. Stand with your back on the wall and slide down until your knees are at 90 degrees, like sitting on an invisible chair. Hold that position, breathe slowly, and feel strength rising from your legs. Your heart taps softly, thighs engage, your breath grows deeper. No crashing weights, no sweaty noise, just you and your steadiness. I love this practice because it trains muscles and mental endurance. As you hold, the quads, glutes, hamstrings, core, and calves all work quietly together. They create a stabilizing ring around the knees and hips, the areas that weaken most after 50. A University of Tokyo study found that adults over 60 who practice static squats 3 times a week were 40% more likely to stand up and walk independently than those who didn't. To me, that says something simple. Real strength doesn't have to be loud. Every time you hold a wall squat, you're doing more than building your thighs, you're training your heart, your lungs, and your will to be resilient together. I remember a man named George 70, a former plumber. He came to see me for weak knees and poor balance. When I suggested sitting on air against the wall, he laughed. "Doctor, I'll last 5 seconds tops." And he was right, the first try was 7 seconds. The next week, 12 seconds, then 20 seconds. 3 months later, he sent me a photo standing tall, both hands raised, eyes shining. The caption read, "Now I can pick up my granddaughter without leaning on the wall." See, sometimes what we're training isn't just the body, it's the belief that we still can. There's something beautiful about this exercise, it teaches the art of stillness. Modern life spins fast, but the human body, especially after 50, needs moments of slowness to rebuild strength. When you lean into the wall, your back is supported, and your mind gets to lean into itself too. Those calm seconds can feel like a tiny meditation where you learn to endure, breathe deeply, and listen to your heartbeat. I often tell my patients, if you can hold a tough position for 30 seconds, you can face life's challenges with more calm. When you start, you don't need to drop too low. Go to a level where your thighs are working, but your breath stays steady. Hold 15 to 20 seconds, then build to 30 to 40 seconds. You'll be surprised, steadier legs, less knee pain, noticeably better balance. If your knees ache, keep a higher angle. If your legs tremble, that's a good sign. Muscles are waking up. Don't fear the shake, it's the sound of renewal. I know age can slow us down, but slow doesn't mean weak. Each time you hold the wall in silence, you're proving something important. I can still stand firm in body and in spirit. You don't have to beat anyone. Just beat the urge to quit in the first 10 seconds, the rest your body will handle. Because in life, as in this exercise, strength isn't always pushing forward, it's holding steady when everything tries to pull you down. Have you ever felt like your legs don't listen anymore? One wobbly step, a tiny trip at the doorway. I've met so many people who say, "Doctor, I used to walk miles. Now I hold on to something just to get from the kitchen to the living room." I get it. When balance fades, it's not just the body that shakes, confidence does too. But I've also seen small miracles from one simple, gentle, highly effective drill, the heel-to-toe walk. What I like to call walking an imaginary tightrope. Try it right now. No shoes, no mat, just a clear hallway. Stand tall, arms relaxed at your sides. Step slowly. Place your right heel directly in front of your left toes as if on a thin line. Then bring the left heel in front of the right toes. Keep stepping slowly, evenly, breathing deeply, and focus on your whole body staying balanced. It looks like a simple game, but it's a big lesson in reconnecting brain and body. When you practice heel to toe, you activate proprioception, your sixth sense that tells you where your body is in space. It's what lets you walk without staring at your feet, balance with eyes closed, and sense when you're about to stumble. After 50, this system naturally declines, not because you did anything wrong, but because the brain and muscles aren't talking as much. Each slow, deliberate step is a way to restart the conversation, waking up coordination reflexes and stability that time has blurred. I'll never forget Maria, 67, who loved her flower garden more than anything. One day she tripped at the threshold and broke her wrist. After that, she was afraid. No garden, no quick steps, always looking down. When I showed her the tightrope walk, she laughed. "Doctor, I'm no circus performer." I said, "You don't have to be Maria. We're just teaching your feet to trust again." At first, she managed 5 steps. A month later, she walked a 16-foot hallway without touching the wall. 2 months later, she sent me a photo, standing in her garden, smiling, pruning shears in hand. Her note said, "I'm walking in my garden again, just like before." Heel to toe doesn't just work the legs, it sharpens the brain. With every foot placement, your brain fires off hundreds of tiny adjustments to keep your head level, eyes steady, and spine aligned. It's a quiet conversation between body and mind. And the amazing part, just 2 minutes a day can noticeably improve balance, reduce fall risk, and bring back a confident, steady gait. Life is a lot like this drill. The path isn't always smooth. Sometimes we walk a narrow line of age limits and inner fears. What gets us across isn't brute force, it's calm and focus. Step by step, eyes forward, breathing, even you're learning to trust yourself again. If you're new, walk along a wall or countertop for support. 2 minutes a day is enough. Try 10 slow steps, then turn around. As you improve, try closing your eyes for 1 second on each step to let your body self-correct without vision. If you wobble, don't be discouraged, that's not failure. It's your body waking up and learning. I always tell my patients, it doesn't matter if you go fast or slow, what matters is that you keep going. After 50, every steady step is more than movement, it's a symbol of freedom. Freedom to walk in the garden, stroll with a grandchild, or head down the block without an arm to hold. Start today, a small hallway, an imaginary line, and a heart that says, "I still can." Because you can at any age. When we're young, we barely think about our knees, they just work. We take stairs, stand up, sit down, walk for miles, never imagining that one day those same knees might slow us down. Then 50 or 60 arrives quietly, and suddenly standing from a chair is slower, the knee clicks, or it just doesn't feel as trustworthy. A patient once told me, "Doctor, I'm not afraid of knee pain. I'm afraid my knees feel unreliable." I understand, which is why today I want you to learn a wonderfully simple revival drill for your knees, the seated leg extension. No gym needed, just a sturdy chair in a few minutes. Sit tall with both feet on the floor. Take a deep breath and slowly extend one leg straight forward until your knee and shin are parallel to the ground. Hold 2 to 3 seconds, feel the front of your thigh, the quadriceps firm up. Lower gently. Switch sides. That's it. Don't let the simplicity fool you. Each lift rebuilds the connection between your brain and your quads, the muscles that help you stand, step, and stabilize every day. As we age, the quadriceps tend to weaken. They're responsible for standing up from a chair, climbing stairs, and catching you if you slip. When they're weak, the knee joint takes extra load, cartilage wears faster, and those little cracks and pops get familiar. The good news, just 5 minutes a day of this drill reactivates the quads and makes your knees feel like pillars again. I tell my patients, your knees aren't broken, they just need a reminder. John, 72, came to me after a minor fall in his yard. No fracture, but fear kept him from moving. "What worries you most?" I asked. "I'm scared I won't be able to stand up," he said. One fall stole a year of confidence. We started with seated leg extensions, just 6 reps per leg each morning. Week 1, he trembled and gripped the chair. Week 2, he lifted higher. By week 4, he told me, "Doctor, I stood up from the couch without using my hands, first time in years." That's the power of small, smart work. You're not just strengthening muscles, you're restoring trust in your body. Sometimes strength doesn't come from lifting weights, it comes from the quiet belief that you still can. This exercise doesn't just strengthen your thighs, it also improves blood flow around the knee so the joint is better nourished, eases aches and stiffness after long sitting or weather changes. And most importantly, it retrains your ability to stand up and sit down naturally, something many people take for granted, yet it's a deep marker of independence. Did you know the ability to rise steadily is one of the strongest predictors doctors use for healthy longevity after 60? Because every time you stand, your body is sending a message. I'm still living proactively, not surrendering to age. If you're just starting, place a small pillow under your thigh to reduce knee pressure. Don't kick too fast or too high. Stop when you feel the quad gently engage. Breathe evenly, inhale as you lift, exhale as you lower. Do 8-10 reps per side, 2 to 3 sessions a day if you can. After a few weeks, you'll notice not just stronger legs, but steadier steps. I often think of the knees as our most loyal friends. They carry our world every trip, every hour at the stove, every time we lift a grandchild, every walk down a familiar street. Over time, we forget they need care, rest, and training. When you practice seated leg extensions, imagine whispering thank you to your legs. Thanks for carrying me through so many years. Each extension is a small declaration to aging. I'm still here and I still want to keep moving. If you've been hesitant to stand because your knees feel weak, remember, strength hasn't disappeared, it's waiting to be awakened. Start today with a simple chair, your own 2 legs, and a bit of patience. Each lift and lower is like a breath, a promise to yourself, I won't let age decide how I live. 50, 60, 70. These aren't endpoints for strength. They're the time to reclaim ownership of your body, starting with your knees where every step begins. You know, some exercises are so simple, people overlook them, yet they carry a whole philosophy of resilience. Wall push-ups are one of those. I tell my patients strength doesn't always require panting and sweat. Sometimes it's built through gentle, consistent movement. I remember Linda, 67, a petite former music teacher with a voice as soft as a breeze. After shoulder surgery, she could barely lift her arm to brush her hair. Every visit, she'd lower her eyes and say, "Doctor, I'm afraid I'll never raise my arm on my own again." We started with the simplest thing, hands on a wall, inhale, and gently press away. No weights, no gear, no pain. After just 3 weeks, she came back with her first big smile. "This morning, I hung my coat by myself, doctor. That's when I'm reminded real strength isn't just in muscles, it's in the feeling that you can still do what you thought you'd lost." If you're watching, try it with me. Find a flat wall by a window or in the living room. Stand about an arm's length away. Hands on the wall at shoulder height, fingers spread. Take a deep breath, bend your elbows slightly, bring your chest toward the wall. Hold 1 to 2 seconds, then press back to start. Go slowly, no rush. Notice your shoulder blades and chest waking up. Feel your breath guiding each motion. If you're new, try 8-10 reps, rest, then repeat. You don't need perfection, just consistency. After 50 or 60, many assume the upper body is too old to recover. Not true. Your body still adapts, it just needs the right nudge. Wall push-ups activate your chest, shoulders, arms, and upper back, the muscles that keep posture tall and support deeper breathing for heart and lungs. They also boost circulation, gently lower blood pressure, steady the heart rhythm, and help you breathe more fully. Studies show that just 10 minutes a day of gentle push-up variations like wall push-ups can increase upper body strength by up to 30% in 6 weeks for adults over 60. That isn't magic, it's your biology responding to good care. My father was a carpenter. He used to say, "A tree stands because of its roots, but to reach upward, it needs a strong trunk." We're the same. If the legs are our foundation, the upper body is the column that stabilizes us and protects our heart and lungs. You can't go far if your shoulders and chest are weak, your breath shortens, and life quietly shrinks with it. When you do wall push-ups, don't think training muscles. Think making room for breath, for the heart, for life. Each press is a nudge against stagnation, fear, and the limits age tries to place on you. One of my patients, 74, a retired truck driver, came in with neck and shoulder pain after years behind the wheel. I told him, every time you wait for the kettle to boil, do 5. 3 months later, he walked in, taller face, brighter. Doctor, my wife says I'm standing straighter than when we first married. That's when I know there are no weak old bodies, only bodies we've forgotten to care for. If your shoulders feel tight, your back rounded, or your breath shallow, don't wait for pain to force a change. Try this each morning before coffee. Just 2 minutes. Hands on the wall, deep breath, press away. One rep at a time, one day at a time, the same way we build a healthy, peaceful life. Sometimes strength isn't doing more, it's knowing where and how to pause so your energy can return. To grow stronger, we don't need to fight age, we just need to walk with it wisely. A wall may look lifeless, but when you lean, press, and breathe, you're having a conversation with your body. You're saying, I still have power and I choose to keep going. And that's the most beautiful message anyone over 50 can send to life. There's something many people only notice after 60. It's not weaker eyes or shorter breath, it's lost balance. We walk slower, look down, more fear falling, as if the ground has become unfamiliar. I've heard the same sentence from hundreds of patients. Doctor, I'm not afraid of pain, I'm afraid of falling. When I hear that, I think of a small, almost forgotten exercise, the standing side leg raise. So gentle, yet it's a key to standing steady, walking with confidence, and keeping hips, knees, and ankles working in harmony. One March morning, I met John, 71, a former structural engineer. After a stumble on a step, he lost all trust in his legs. I'm still strong, he said, but I don't dare move fast. I feel weaker. I smiled. It's okay, John. We're going to teach your legs to trust you again. We started beside a sturdy chair, a light hand for balance, lifting one leg out to the side slowly. Day 1, he trembled. Day 10, he could hold a few seconds. 1 month later, he walked in, beaming, Doctor, I can chase my grandson in the yard without fear. Sometimes strength isn't how far you run, it's the courage to stand steady again. Try this at home. Stand next to a solid chair or countertop. Stand tall. Lightly hold for balance. Inhale, then slowly lift one leg out to the side, not high, just until you feel a gentle stretch along the outer hip. Hold 2 to 3 seconds, then release. Repeat 10 times, then switch sides. Feel the muscles around your hips working, especially the gluteus medius. This muscle keeps your pelvis stable when you walk, prevents the knee. If you're comfortable, add a light resistance band at the ankles or lift a bit higher. But remember, it's not about height, it's about control. I tell patients, age doesn't make you fall weak, poorly controlled hip muscles do. Research from the National Institute on Aging shows that after 60, side hip strength declines about 2% per year without training. That affects gait balance and even how stable you feel when turning at the stove. Standing side leg raises are a natural antidote. They strengthen the hips and sharpen proprioception, your nervous system's awareness of where your body is in space. That's the foundation of confidence in every step. I often say, our body is the house we live in for life. If we don't tend the bricks, it weakens without us noticing. To me, this exercise is more than physical, it's a lesson in balance. After 50, we learn life isn't always straight, but we can steady our mind and our steps while the world shifts. When you lift, hold, and lower, you're training your body to respond gently to change. Just like life, every wobble isn't a fall, sometimes it's a chance to find a new balance. Mary, 69, once told me, Doctor, I can't even stroll with my husband. I'm afraid I'll fall. I had her do side leg raises each morning while the kettle heated. 2 months later, she returned glowing. I don't just walk, we dance a little when the music comes on. That story still moves me. Health isn't only the absence of pain, it's the ability to fully enjoy the moments you love. If you're watching, remember this. Each time you lift your leg, even a few inches, you lift your quality of life. You're training not to depend on others to keep balance in your body and in your mind. And if one day you stride confidently, stand steady to greet a grandchild, or cross a busy street without fear, know that you created that miracle with small, steady actions. Your body isn't betraying you, it's waiting for you to remember how to care for it. Every step, every held balance is a reminder. You are still strong, still free, still moving forward, as long as you keep practicing and keep believing. There's a simple truth many people forget. The human body was made to move. When we stop moving, the body doesn't just weaken, the mind slows, the breath grows heavy, and life quietly shrinks to 4 walls. I've seen too many people slip into that after 60. They tell me, top of form, doctor, I don't have any energy left. But when I ask, How many minutes do you move in a day? They go quiet. I remember Evelyn, 74, a retired teacher. I don't have the strength to do anything. Once I sit down, I don't want to get back up, she said. I asked her, if I told you that you could build strength while sitting still, would you believe me? She laughed. Then I taught her a simple drill. Seated marching, gently lifting the knees while seated, and everything began to change. Just 2 weeks later, she called me doctor. I feel younger. Every morning I walk on the chair before I get out of bed. Seated, marching in place. While seated is one of my favorites for older adults. It's gentle, safe, and especially helpful if standing is hard, you're recovering from illness or surgery, or you simply want to stay healthy at home. All you need is a sturdy chair. No weights, no gadgets, no pressure, just you and the will to live a little more actively each day. Let's try it. Sit tall, feet flat on the floor, hands resting on your thighs or the chair. Take a deep breath, then lift one knee as if you're taking a step. Hold for a beat lower slowly and switch sides. Left, right, steady and unhurried. Keep breathing evenly and let your body find its rhythm. Just 2 to 3 minutes each morning is enough to boost circulation, wake up your core and hips, and start your day feeling alert and energized. Understand this: every time you lift a knee, even just a few inches, you're waking up your motor nervous system. Blood flows more strongly down to the legs and back to the heart. The hips, thighs, and abdominals muscles that fall asleep when we sit too long switch back on. That's why after a few days people tell me, my legs feel lighter, less swollen, and I move more easily. In fact, seated marching helps prevent blood pooling in the lower limbs, a common cause of leg swelling, fatigue, and even deep vein clots in people who are inactive. A Mayo Clinic study showed that just 3 minutes of light seated movement every 30 minutes can improve circulation as much as a short walk. You don't have to run. You don't need a gym. You just need to sit and move with intention. I believe movement is the language of life. Each small motion is your body saying, I'm still here. I'm still alive. I'm still in charge. Maybe you can't run like before. Maybe stairs are slower now. But you can still march with yourself with grateful legs that still move, a heart that still beats, and a spirit that hasn't given up. Another time I met Frank, 68, who'd had a mild stroke. He was afraid to stand because his leg was weak and his balance unsteady. We started with seated marching 5 minutes every morning. 2 months later, he told me, Doctor, I get up and make coffee on my own now. He smiled the smile of someone who just got a piece of freedom back. Sometimes one small daily movement gives you back a whole part of your life. If you're watching this, remember, you don't need a perfect body. You need a body that's loved and used wisely. Start today, sit tall, breathe deep, and lift your knees. Feel warmth spread through your legs, your heart settle into a steady rhythm, and your mind brighten. That's the power of intentional movement, gentle, patient, and deeply restorative. Your body doesn't need speed, it just needs you not to stop. Each morning when you choose to move, even in that small chair in the corner, you're telling yourself, I still have strength. I still have hope. And I choose to live fully for one more day. After 35 years in older adult health, I've learned this. There's no remedy more powerful than your consistency. Not expensive vitamins, not high-tech machines, but 10 minutes a day, steady, gentle, and intentional. That's the golden dose that keeps us truly youthful. If you've been with me from the start, we've gone through tiny exercises that carry the deepest healing power. Glute bridge wakes up the hips and lower back so you can get out of bed without stiffness. Wall isometric squat teaches you to stand firm in silence, steady under pressure. Standing side leg raise restores confidence in every step. Seated marching keeps your heart and blood moving in the rhythm of life. And there are more. Each motion, each breath is a promise that you're living fully. I remember Peter, 67, after a bathroom fall. Shaking, he told me, I'm afraid I'll never stand steady again. We began with the basics: sit, breathe, stand slowly with the wall for support. 3 months later, he returned, eyes bright. Doctor, I shower by myself, make my own coffee, and I practice 10 minutes every morning like you said. Just 10 minutes. But for Peter, it was freedom. Then there's Mary, 70, whose back pain stole her sleep. She did glute bridges every night, just a few minutes. 2 weeks later, she said, my back doesn't feel heavy anymore. It feels like my body is waking up. I've heard stories like these hundreds of times, and each time I believe more strongly our bodies never betrayed us. They're just waiting to be reawakened. Many people think that after 60, all we can do is maintain. But the truth is, the brain and muscles can still grow if you give them a reason. Science calls it neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself. Every time you balance, lift a leg, or squeeze your glutes in a bridge, you send signals to thousands of nerve cells. Wake up, I still need you. That's why after just a few weeks, you're not only stronger, your mood lifts and your memory sharpens. Physical and mental strength walk together. A flexible body feeds a youthful spirit. I tell my patients, age doesn't take your strength, it asks whether you still want to keep it. So each morning when you choose to stand, breathe, and practice a wall squat or seated marching, it's more than a workout, it's a statement. You're telling life, I'm still here, I still have dreams, and I want to be healthy enough to enjoy more moments. 50, 60, 70. These aren't final chapters. They're the chapters where you learn the value of every heartbeat, every breath, every movement. I'm not asking you to do a lot or go hard. I'm asking you to start even 5 minutes a day. Strength isn't about how much you can do, it's about not giving up. Imagine this. You wake up without stiffness. You step into the garden and take a long, deep breath. You bend to water the plants, pick up your grandchild, and smile. That's not a far-off dream. That's the result of the 10 minutes you give yourself each day. Age is just a number. What matters is how you choose to live within those numbers. If today you stand up, practice a glute bridge, a side leg raise, or simply seated marching, you've already won. You've beaten stagnation, fear, and even time. Remember, your body is your most loyal companion. Treat it with gratitude, and it will give you freedom. You're not getting old. You're getting stronger one day, one beat, one breath at a time. I've lived long enough to see this clearly. It's not age that weakens us. It's stopping believing that we can still change. Every day I meet people in their 60s, 70s, even 80s, and the light in their eyes is as bright as in their 20s. Not because they're free of illness, but because they never stopped caring for themselves. I know there are mornings when you wake up with aching knees, a stiff back, shorter breaths, and for a moment you think, maybe I'm too old to change. I want you to pause and listen closely to this. It's never too late to regain your strength, and never too late to begin again with yourself. Your body hasn't abandoned you. It's simply waiting for a small reminder, a deep breath, a gentle movement, a decision not to give up. I once had a patient, Clara, 78. On her first visit, she walked in with a cane, shoulders rounded, voice soft, I just want to walk normally, not fast, just steady. I had her start with seated marching, sitting tall and lifting one knee at a time, 5 minutes each morning. She stuck with it. She didn't miss a day. 6 months later, she came to her follow-up without the cane. When I asked how it felt, she said something I'll never forget. Doctor, I'm not just walking, I'm living again. Then there's Michael, 72, a former serviceman. He used to think working out at his age was pointless. But after a few weeks of wall squats and glute bridges, he told me, Doctor, I'm not afraid of stairs anymore. I feel like I can take charge of my body again. Moments like these for a doctor are worth more than any award. They prove that the human will is stronger than any number on a birthday cake. You know what I love most about this work? Not treating illness, but helping people find their faith in recovery again. I once asked an 80-year-old gentleman after 3 months of practice, "What keeps you consistent every day?" He smiled. "Because every morning I train, I know I still have a reason to try." Maybe that's the real secret to longevity, not medicine, not miracles, but the will to live fully for one more day. If you've stayed with me through these chapters, through each movement, each breath, each small reminder, you've come farther than you think. I want to invite you to do something today, right now. Share your story. Comment below with one small change you've started, one thing you want to improve, or simply, I'm starting today. Because your story might inspire someone on the other side of the screen, someone who's losing hope, someone who needs the reminder that we still can. I've always believed movement is how the body says I'm alive. Even 10 minutes a day, that's time you give your body to heal and your mind to find peace. Don't think of yourself as getting old. Think of yourself as growing wiser in how you stay healthy and awake to life. Age doesn't define you. How you care for yourself does. Keep your legs steady, your back tall, your breath deep, and your heart open, able to feel, to love, and to be grateful every day. Thank you for walking this road with me. If today you stood up, took a deep breath, or simply smiled while listening, you've already started. Keep going, stay consistent, because you're not just living longer, you're living better. My friend, if you've watched to this moment, know this. You're not just a viewer, you're a doer. Today, maybe you didn't finish every rep. Maybe your legs still tremble, your back still aches, your breath still feels short. What matters is you began. And sometimes beginning is the first victory. My deepest thanks to you for choosing to spend time on yourself, for believing that at 50, 60, or 80 you can be stronger, more flexible, and happier. Here's a beautiful truth from medicine: your cells are renewing every day. Your body never stops healing, it only needs one thing from you. Keep giving it reasons to do so. Tomorrow morning, take a few minutes, sit tall, take a deep breath, lift your knees gently, roll your shoulders, and smile. You don't need to do a lot, you just need to do it every day. Remember, the small moves you make today become your freedom tomorrow. Each time you choose to stand up, you send a message to your body, your mind, and to life itself: I still have strength, I still have faith, and I'm living fully. If this video resonated with you, if it moved you to change even a little hit, like so, I know you're on this journey with me. And don't forget to subscribe, so each week you'll get simple, science-backed guidance and gentle routines to help you understand your body and love it the right way. Because this isn't just a health channel, it's a community of people choosing to live healthy, awake, and meaningful lives. Leave a comment below. Share your story, your path, because you might be the one who helps someone find their trust in their own body again. And I truly believe we weren't born just to exist, but to live healthy, live with purpose, and live with gratitude. Keep this in your heart. You're not getting old, you're growing, strengthening, and becoming wiser. See you in the next video, where I'll share simple exercises and small daily habits that can transform the quality of your life. Bottom of form.